guys, LongHaul Larry, and we're at the ADL shop. I had to go do my delivery in Landover last night. Finally got those 2 little pallets off and everything. That was a whole ordeal, but got it done. So years ago, right now, what I'm doing is I'm working on the I'm just organizing and putting things together and stuff. Just getting it all ready for work and stuff so that I can start working on trailers and everything, get a lot of trailers, oil changes, services, and DOT, stuff like that done. But years ago, when I started YouTube and everything, I switched over to an Apple phone. I've never bought such an expensive phone. John was all, you gotta have this one. And I took the plunge. Well, since then, I've got an iPad. Actually, I started out with an iPad because John was saying how easy it was to edit stuff. And I thought, well, if I got an iPad, I got to have an iPhone. So I bought an iPhone, and I bought it, and I got to say, I've never been an Apple person, never really liked it at all. And I was always Apple's the devil. It's kind of frustrating and stuff or whatever. But I bought this phone, and I got to say, it has worked pretty well. Since then, I've actually broke the screen like 3 times. Had to get it fixed constantly. And I actually shattered the whole back of the phone. It's all busted up. And it's been this way for probably 6 months to a year. And it's worked and everything. It works and all this stuff. But then I saw an ad on TV, and it says, do you have a broken iPhone? You can bring it to Verizon. We'll give you $1,000 for your broken iPhone towards a new one. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. There's some kind of little clause thing in that. And then I saw recently an ad saying something about, Verizon said, do you have a 5G phone? If you don't, bring it in and we'll give you a 5G phone on us. And all this stuff. It's upgrade. So I went in there and I talked to him. And the guy was like, well, it's up to 1,000. And I'm like, okay, so you're going to give me $100 for my phone and then want me to buy a new one? And he looked it all up and everything. And he was actually able to give me $700 for my phone. And it's all paid off and everything. And so then basically I decided, okay, I'm going to upgrade to the newest phone. So that's what I did. So, what did I get? I got me the brand new iPhone 12 Pro Max, I think it's called. Yep, 12 Pro Max. And so there we go. So now basically what I'm doing is since I got Wi-Fi in the shop here, I'm actually going to fire this thing up. They give you this thing, you bring it home and you do this yourself. I'm going to fire it up and it'll transfer all my phone numbers and photos and music and everything over from this phone to this phone. And I guess when I get it all done, if I'm able to accomplish this, then I put this old phone back in a box and send it back to them. And then I get a new phone. So let's see what we got in here. It's coming fancy, I bet. No, I didn't get the hot pink one either. The guy asked me, he's like, what color do you want? I said, dark. I need dark. So we get this here envelope with absolutely nothing in it, no instructions. Get a cord. And I guess that peels off. And there you go. iPhone 12 Max. It's got the fancy camera stuff on there. So the only difference between these is they don't use the USB-C or USB plug-ins anymore. They still have the lightning plug that goes into the phone, but they use this USB-C now. It's whatever. Alright, so I'm going to plug this thing in, make sure it's got power going to it. There it goes. There's the Apple. I'm going to try to figure this all out. Wish me luck.
Well, guys, I'm still working on the UD truck. I'm still working on the setup. I'll give you a little sneak peek. It's getting there. It's almost done. It's actually been a few days. I'm going on like 2.5 days now working on this. I'll show the final review of it, walk you guys all through, but it's coming out pretty nice. You have to excuse the fan. It's pretty hot in here. But what I am actually doing is I have the trailer out here that John dropped the load off the other day. He dropped the load off, supposed to go to New Jersey. I ended up having to go deliver this thing, and he took off with another load. And I did a walk around the trailer when I hooked up, and I was just like, are you kidding me? There was a tire that was just so close. I was just like, it was the middle of the night. There was nothing I could do. And I was just like, I don't know if this is going to make it. But I drove it up there and stuff and made it back. And I told the boss, do not let this trailer go. And I don't have a way. I have tires in the truck, but I don't have a way to get the tires out of the truck and back up in. I'm not lifting these tires and mounted on rims up that high. But I have been looking over the system, and I actually checked out his PSI. I carry this gauge with me right here in my truck, and I check out trailers. Oh yeah, she's going up. And you just plug this in, you just unhook one of these airlines, and it'll tell you what the system is at, what the PSI is at for the system. And I checked this at Chambersburg when John was there. And he was parked there, and I walked back and just plugged this in, and it was going up to like 77. And I was like, that cannot be right. And I said something to the boss. I said, hey, I think this is the one with the bad controller unit. And he was like, no, that's R73. I was like, I don't know. It's not reading hardly anything. This can't be correct. And then he brought this trailer back, and I did a walk around, and the tires were not terrible. You know, all the tires were pretty good, except the inside one in there is starting to cup, and this outside one was starting to cup. And then when I went and picked up the trailer, look at that. It's actually cut through the cords. I mean, if this tire makes it 50 miles more, it'd be a miracle. And I was like, what in the world is going on? I have got to go through every one of these trailers, and I have got to get these inflation systems set up correctly, because it's just burning through tires. I started to do this last fall and stuff, then it became winter time, and it was like, oh, just wait till spring. And I've just been so busy, I haven't been able to get back on it. Well, now I'm back on it. Right now, I have the inflation system set up correctly, and I will tell you that it was set at 77 PSI for inflation, and it was deflating at 80 PSI. I don't know who did this, because somebody's been in this box. I guarantee that somebody has, and I can show you. All right, guys. I think my sound cut off. I think my mics went dead. But we have the inflation system all set up. I have it all marked. I actually put a note inside the box saying, do not adjust. And I had my gauge on this here tire, and the light has gone off up in the front like it's supposed to. It was at 102 or 103. And the light is off, but I still have a leak. Just to show you before I show you this. We have all new tires. I had a used tire that I brought back from Wisconsin. It was that one in there, and it matches up good with this one here, so I just mounted a used tire alongside that one. But then I ended up having to mount two brand new tires, two new recaps on this one. And the reason why is because somebody has run over something. Somebody ran over something, and in the inside of the sidewall in between the tires, just huge gashes. I can actually show it to you. You can see it right here. There's just big cuts in the sidewall. So very lucky I caught this, pulled that tire off, and I was able to see that. And I was able to get this changed out, because this thing was going to blow. I can tell you that much. You can see some kind of marks right up in here too. Somebody ran over some kind of metal curb or something in a place, got it in between the tires. The other tire has scratches all over too. The gash just went out pretty bad. All right, so the one thing that I checked, the last thing I checked with the air system is to make sure there's no air leaks. And the light isn't on up in the front, but it will come on. It just has reached. It just has reached it. And the way to check it is with these inflation systems. They go through the axles. Okay? There's little air nozzles that go through the axles and everything.
and they feed, the lines feed out to the hubs. And then these are like escape tubes or something like that. They vent the axle, because these axles are hollow. And if you have a leak inside there and it just builds up pressure, it will, you know, blow seals, all kinds of different stuff. So I always come underneath here, and the last thing I check is I stick my finger over it. And I let go of it. And I see if there's a psh when I do that. Well, you probably have already heard it. This right here. Here. So we have a leak. And I have not been able to fix these in the past because we have never had the parts. But now that we're setting up the service truck, you know, Mr. Ud, well, we've been buying all the different parts we need, and guess what? We have these parts. And you can kind of tell what there is there's a needle assembly that is inside this hub. And it goes in and it spins on this, and it has little O-rings, and it spins, and that's the air line comes out, attaches onto it, and that's what splits the air lines up for the dual air like this. It's either going to be the hub on the inside, or it's going to be that needle assembly. But if you listen real careful, you can hear the air leaking inside of this hub. It's not leaking on the other side. You can hear it, so I know it's this side. So we got to pull these lines back off and take all the nuts off, pull the outside hub off, and find out what's leaking. All right, guys. I had to go get a new battery, but I started pulling these bolts out, and it starts getting worse. So we know the leak is in here. Pull our hub out. Well, you can hear it even getting worse as I pull it out. See, now, a lot of people have asked me about this. How does this inflate? And you can see it here. Here, let me turn my... Okay. So what you can see is you have the box that's underneath there. It takes air out of the air tank of the trailer. Goes through that box, you set it for a certain PSI. You want the tires to be at 100, you want 105, 110, whatever. And you set that to do that. And then air lines come off of there and they feed to each axle. And then the air lines go into like a T inside the axle, and then there's these little stainless steel air lines that run through the center of the axles out here. And it screws into there, and on these hubs there's a rotary piece. And that spins. Because this stays still, but this whole deal spins. And so there's a rotary thing that's inside there that can leak. And that's what's going on. I can already hear it. Oh yeah, right there. See it? So it's right down there that it's leaking. Okay. So I have new ones, so I'm going to shut the air off now. And I'm going to show you what I got. So you can kind of see it here. And that hose there is going to screw down onto that. And then see, this spins. It's got seals, O-rings all up inside there and stuff. And so the hose goes on there, and then it spins. And that's where it's leaking. It's actually leaking down in here. And so we just need to replace this here. Yeah, this one here is corroded in there. I'm gonna have to get a vice grips and heat this up with a torch over here. See if I can get that apart. Here we go. Heated that hub up. I was trying to do it with the electric. We're doing electric connections and stuff, heat shrink stuff. Just wouldn't work. There we go. We got her. Yay. Save that hub. There we go. That'll keep that out of my way. That should make things better. Well, guys, I took it back apart. I'm gonna check something here. I still have a tiny, tiny leak. I got no air bubbles down in there. So guess what? I think the hub on the other side's starting to leak too. So I'm gonna end up pulling that one apart too, looking at that one. This one is not leaking now. There's no air leak over here, but if I hold my finger on the air line underneath there for like a minute and then let it go, it goes. So it's getting there. It's just a little bit. So I'm actually gonna put this one back together. This one's good to go. Well, guys, I'm over at the other side. I just loosen it up and listen. So this side is leaking too. And guess what? I broke another stud. Well, same exact thing on this side. And I broke another stupid stud. So I gotta do that all over again. But we know how to get it all, right? Cool. Alrighty. Let's see if we got a leak. Nope. I did it. Good to go. So the next thing that we're doing here is I am going to be installing blowout plates. And what this is basically they're plates that you put on the bottom of the rails of the semi-trailer here. And it's basically just a big sheet of metal that goes wherever the tires are. So it's going to go all the way to the back. Doesn't really need to go all the way back, but it's going to go back there. And it's going to go all the way up to where the tires slide up here. So that way, if a tire does blow out, then what happens is chunks of tire goes flying up and it hits these. And it twists them and bends them and everything, and it wrecks the floor up underneath here and stuff. And it's going to take 2 sheets of 4x8. We're using aluminum so it doesn't rust. It doesn't really need to be for strength because it's got a lot of these deals that it's hooked to. It's just that if it blows, it goes up and hits it, and it'll kind of deflect it. It probably will dent the aluminum. We looked at steel. We're worried about the steel rusting. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it. But we're looking at, and I'm thinking that it's going to hit it, and it may dent it a little bit, but it's better to dent that than to rip out these rails and the rip of the bottom and the reefer floor and everything else. Because he's actually had a few trailers and this has happened to, and he's had to take them in and get all new beams put back in. And that's very costly, guys. So to do this, I need 2 sheets of 4x8 sheets. I got to cut them down to 22 inches wide. And basically it's 16 feet from the bottom to the front. And we're just going to put them up in there and pop rivet it every once in a while. And put some pop rivets in it. And that should hold her up in there. And then if a tire blows, it'll save the trailer. Well, guys, we've gotten this all done. And you can see blowout panels. They run all the way from the back. All the way up to here. Oh, I got one that I got to cut. I didn't even notice that until just now. But both sides are all done. So, I can take care of that right now. Once in a while you have one. So I just cut them off with the snippers. And got to pick that up.
So the only thing left to do on this trailer is that load scale right there. That is the one electric, it's a digital load scale that we got. And I installed it on this trailer, and me and the boss had lots of discussions about that. He wanted power wires run all the way up through the frame of the trailer up to the front end. And I'm like, you're crazy. Well, we're going with LongHaul Larry's way. I'll show you what I'm doing. All right, guys, this one was pretty easy. I don't know if you could see it actually. Oh, there's a connection right here. So that's where the box used to be. And I have it run with all the other lines, and then I have it run up through the frame of the trailer. There's holes that go all the way up through that you can run stuff through. And I have everything wrapped with whatever you call it stuff. My mind just went blank. That stuff. I can't think of it, what it is. Wire loom. And there it is. See, just mounted all flush with the deal here. I actually cut a hole right through the center of that, about that big or so, and that's where the hose and the wiring goes through. And it's way protected. That's inside where the blinker is. So that is good to go. Now, see if it works. So there it is. So the right way load scale, it's a digital one. This one actually has been on here for a while and hasn't worked. I'll turn it on. It won't come on. Oh. Maybe you gotta turn the lights on. I'll kick the lights on here. You see this, it's got this driver, he was in this truck. He moved into a Volvo, but he put one of those big extended deals on there. It's actually loose. I guess I'll just tighten that up. But yeah, it's kind of funny driving. It's actually not bad though. I thought it'd be weird. So there we go. Lights are on. It's actually tapped into this little clearance light because I don't want to mess with the wire harness for the blinker or nothing like that, in case something does get messed up in there or something. But a little clearance light, that's not a big deal. Turn the power on, and there it is. 8,300 pounds it says. I can tell you that the tandems are all the way to the back, so I had room to get underneath there. And so I don't know. I did calibrate this when I installed it, and I just used a 9-volt battery, connected a 9-volt battery to the wires just to get power to it. And I did calibrate it, but that was a long time ago, so it'll probably need to be recalibrated, and I won't be able to do that. Need to do that on a scale, and right here is the instructions for it. So I'll put a note in here, say driver should recalibrate this, and instructions indoor. And so then the driver's gonna recalibrate it, and once they recalibrate, they can take the note out, whatever. There we go, guys. And this is actually, this thing, I did download it. I remember doing a video about it. It's actually Bluetooth, and you can have your phone up there and actually see what their weight is back here. So that's pretty cool. So they're gonna be going on to all the trailers, and I did not drill into the frame at all. I just made a couple steel plates, and I just made a pinch plate that pinches over top of the frame, and it's super, super durable. So there we go. Load scale is installed. That's nice. I like it. I like that. Well, I guess that I could show you guys the inside of the UD. I guess we could do that as a final ending to the video, huh? You guys can see what the UD looks like now, all fixed up. You know what? Anticipation is a friend, isn't it? I think we'll wait for that for the next video. So I'm going to let you guys go. I hope everybody out there is having themselves a great day, great night. As they watch this here video, this trailer is complete. Everything is off the checklist. This trailer is good to go. Everything is perfectly working. Really happy with the inflation system. Having that all good to go. So that is cool. Tires are great. Brakes, everything's all good. It's been DOT'd. This thing is ready to roll. So truckers can go out there and hit poles with it and stuff. So I'm going to let you guys go. I hope everybody out there is having themselves a great day, great night as they watch this here video. And if you're not, try that all over again tomorrow. Catch you later. Bye.